It looks like just another coin at a small, ordinary disc of metal, forgotten in a drawer or slipped into a pocket without a second thought. But buried within South Africa's modern currency is a story few have ever heard. A twist of fate, a minting mistake, a treasure hidden in plain sight. And today, that mistake is worth up to $3 million. A year marked by resilience, recovery, and quiet revolution. South Africa, a nation shaped by history and hope, released a new 5 Rand coin. Not just currency, but a symbol of strength, unity, and a future forged from the past. The 2021 5 Rand coin features the iconic black wildebeest, powerful, fast, and enduring. A living emblem of South Africa's spirit. But just like its predecessors, this coin carries a secret. Amidst the millions minted, a rare error slipped through the cracks, a flaw in the minting process, perhaps an off-center strike, a double imprint, or a wrong metal alloy, creating an unintended masterpiece. Only a handful exist. Fewer than 10 known examples of this minting error have surfaced, and collectors are stunned. These aren't fakes. Not reproductions. Not fantasy. They are official South African coins, born by mistake, elevated by rarity. Numismatics, the art and science of coin collecting, values 4 things above all: rarity, condition, history, and error. This 2021 5 Rand error coin checks every box. Minted in a year when the world was watching South Africa's steady march forward. Carrying a design limited to this release. Featuring a minting flaw so rare, it's barely documented. And preserved in flawless, uncirculated condition. That's why collectors are bidding millions. Not just for the coin itself, but for the story it tells. Because sometimes, the smallest objects hold the loudest echoes of history, so how do you know if you've got one? Here's what to look for. On-screen list appears. Off-center design. The wildebeest or South African emblem is skewed or shifted double strike. Elements look doubled or shadowed. Wrong metal alloyed coin has an unusual weight or tone color variation. Shiny gold or silver hues, where it shouldn't be. Uncirculated condition. Looks brand new. No wear or scratches. If your 2021 5 Rand shows more than one of these signs, don't ignore it. It could be worth millions. But authenticity is everything. Have it inspected by a professional numismatic grading service. They can verify its legitimacy and estimate market value. Collectors don't just seek coins, they seek stories. Moments frozen in metal. Symbols of endurance, transformation, and hope. This coin is all of that. A single strike that echoes a nation's journey toward unity and strength. From hardship to healing. From division to destiny. That coin jar in your kitchen. That old box in your grandfather's attic. That souvenir from a trip long ago. There's a chance, slim, but very real. One of those coins is the rare 2021 5 Rand error. And if it is, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding a legacy. This isn't about metal. It's about meaning. A flawed coin from a flawless moment in time. A tiny relic of a pivotal chapter in South African history. Not all treasures glitter. Not all legends are buried in gold mines. Some are right in front of us, waiting to be found. If this story sparked your curiosity, there's so much more to discover. Subscribe for more rare coin deep dives, untold histories, and hidden treasures. Drop a comment if you've ever come across a strange coin, and who knows, we might just feature your find next. Until then, keep collecting and keep looking closer, because sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest stories. It looks like just another coin. A small, copper-plated disc tossed into a purse, lost in a car seat, or left behind in a pocket after laundry. Forgotten, overlooked, but hidden within South Africa's 2012 10-cent coin lies a secret few have ever noticed. A twist of fate, a minting mystery, a tiny anomaly that turned an everyday coin into a multimillion-dollar marvel. Yes, this unassuming piece of change could be worth up to $6.5 million. South Africa was marching forward. A nation in progress, healing from the scars of its past, and continuing its journey toward inclusion, innovation, and identity. And with that came coins, modest, utilitarian. The 10-cent coin, featuring the arum lily, an emblem of delicate beauty and dignity, a staple of South African currency. Nothing unusual, nothing rare, until someone looked closer. Somewhere between the design studio and the Royal Mint, something shifted. A manufacturing defect, a material inconsistency. Or perhaps an experimental strike never meant to leave the mint. It was a numismatic anomaly. A perfect error. A 2012 10-cent coin, but struck on the wrong planchet, a blank meant for a coin of different size or metal. Made of unique material, a combination of nickel, zinc, or even silver, never used in this denomination. Coloration and weight, off. Design, slightly doubled, misaligned, or ghosted. And only one known example exists with this particular blend of anomalies. Verified, graded, and valued at $6.5 million by international collectors. This isn't a myth. It's not folklore. It's a story buried in copper and steel. On-screen list appears. Wrong planchet feels heavier or lighter than other 10-cent coins, often thicker or thinner. Unusual tone or color, silverish shine or odd metallic hue. Double strike or shadowed features. Slightly repeated arum lily or denomination. Off-center pressing, design misaligned. Lettering clipped. Uncirculated or proof-like condition nowhere. Almost mint fresh despite the year. If your 2012 10-cent coin shows more than one of these traits, it's time to take it seriously. Because this is not just currency, it's a legacy. Numismatics, the world of rare coins, is built on four things: rarity, condition, historical context, error or anomaly. This coin checks all the boxes. One of a kind. Authenticated by top grading services. Connected to the mint's shadow history of experimental strikes. And fiercely sought after by elite collectors across the globe. This coin is a conversation. A question. What else have we missed? What other small, silent things carry massive stories? It could be in your junk drawer, in a wallet you haven't opened in years. Or in a plastic jar on your grandparents' windowsill. Let a certified numismatic grading service evaluate it. Because the difference between just change and a $6.5 million artifact might be one overlooked detail. Have you ever found a strange coin? One that didn't look quite right? Tell us in the comments. Drop a photo. Your ordinary coin might be the next extraordinary discovery. Subscribe for more stories of hidden wealth, mysterious minting errors, and the forgotten legends of global currency. Because sometimes, it's not the gold that shines brightest. It's the copper coin that wasn't supposed to exist. Keep collecting. Keep looking closer. Because sometimes, the smallest things carry the greatest stories. It looks like just another coin, a small, ordinary disc of metal, tossed into a drawer or rattling in your change without a second thought. But buried within South Africa's aging currency is a secret almost no one knows, a twist of fate, a minting mistake. A fortune hidden in plain sight. And today, that mistake is worth up to $1 million. 1989, a year just before the dawn. Apartheid was still standing, but only barely. The pressure of change was building. The nation teetered between repression and revolution. In the shadows of history, something extraordinary was quietly created. Among South Africa's standard coinage that year was the 20-cent coin. Modest, copper-nickel, and easily overlooked. But not all of them were ordinary. Somewhere, deep in the precision-driven process of minting, something slipped. A rare error was born. A coin unlike the rest. A misprint, a metal mismatch, a strike gone wrong, but perfectly wrong. Only a handful of these flawed 1989 20-cent pieces ever escaped into the world. And among those, one or two have been confirmed as possibly worth up to $1,000,000. Yes, $1 million. Why? Because in the world of numismatics, the elite realm of coin collecting, there are 4 golden rules. Rarity, condition, historical significance. Minting error in this coin checks all 4. Rarity? Fewer than a dozen known examples with this error exist. Condition? A few have surfaced in uncirculated, mint state like time capsules. Historical significance? Minted just before South Africa's transformation. A snapshot of a nation on the edge. Error? A possible wrong planchet, struck on a blank meant for another coin, maybe even another country. These are not fakes. Not forgeries. Not fantasy pieces. They are official, authentic, and unexpected, and they're worth a fortune. not just in currency, but in context. Because sometimes collectors don't just chase coins. They chase stories, moments frozen in metal, symbols of struggle, souvenirs of survival. And that brings us to you. You might be holding a piece of this legacy without even realizing. So how do you know if you've got the $1 million 1989 20 cents? Here's what to look for. On screen list appears. Wrong planchet, the coin feels too light, too heavy, or sounds off when dropped off center strike. The design is misaligned or partly missing double strike. Parts of the image or text are repeated color variation. It looks unusually silver or gold-toned uncirculated condition. Crisp edges, high detail. Nowhere, like it was never used. If your 1989 South African 20 cents has more than one of these signs, don't ignore it. You might be holding something far more valuable than spare change. Have it authenticated by a professional numismatic grading service, like PCGS or NGC. They can confirm its rarity, its condition, and yes, its true market value. Because the real worth isn't just the coin, it's the story it carries, a story of a country on the brink. A coin struck just before rebirth and accident. That became a legend. That coin jar in your kitchen? That drawer in your father's desk? That old stash of coins from years ago? There's a chance, slim but real, that you could be holding the rarest South African 20 cents ever minted. And if it is, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding $1 million legacy. Because this isn't about metal. It's about meaning, a flawed coin from a flawless moment in history, a relic of a country learning to breathe again. Not all treasures glitter. Not all legends are locked in vaults. Some are sitting in your hand. If this story sparked your curiosity, there's so much more to uncover. Subscribe for rare coin deep dives, forgotten histories, and financial folklore you can actually hold. Drop a comment if you've ever found an odd coin. We might feature your discovery next. Until then, keep collecting and keep looking closer, because sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest stories.